All right, I believe we're live on YouTube. Somebody say something just so I can make sure that the audio is coming through. Somebody say something on a microphone so I make sure that the audio is coming through on the stream.
Bloody hell, do we have to talk?
There we go. Thank you very much. Okay, I don't really know how to do this spaces thing. I'm going to try it really quick. Give me 1 second. All right, I think it's working. I'm not entirely sure. Do I have to, is it like a hold to talk, or is it just, I just talk into the microphone on the phone, or what? I feel like a boomer right now.
What are you talking about?
I'm live on Twitter Spaces. Does it just pick up my microphone, or do I have to hold something?
Bro, hold this. Say something?
Hello?
Oh yeah, it comes in. It says, does it just, when you said, do I have to hold something? It was
Please
saying,
don't ask James what you have to hold.
Right.
Guys, this is live right now. You're live on YouTube talking shit to each other.
Fuck Dustin.
All
You
three
say hello?
all three people that watch this later are going to be very enthused.
I think you have to hold something. When you were talking about holding something, it came. Oh no. When you
Okay.
were talking about YouTube, talking to shit, it came through on.
Yeah, I
Twitch.
think.
It's just really confusing because it's delayed, and I'm talking to you in Discord, and now I'm listening on.
Well, you don't have to
Fine,
listen
mine.
on Twitter Spaces. It would be nice to sit in it and just like mute it so it looks like people are in there, though. This is the first time I'm running it. I'm trying to record it. I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. We'll see how this works. Okay, so I'm assuming there's going to be zero fucking interaction on.
Is there a way to mute Twitter Spaces?
I don't know.
Like,
Just turn down your fucking volume.
yeah, but on Mac you can't control like
Gotcha.
when like individual.
I don't know, man. It doesn't matter. I'm trying out the Twitter Spaces. We'll see if it works. And it's nice for people on Twitter to be able to get this information. Sure, if it doesn't work, it's literally doesn't matter to me whatsoever. We'll see. Whole reason why we got this, whole reason why we started this, I guess, was because I got a DM from one of the guys that's been following our journey, if you will, for like the last year, and he messaged me and was like, you should try to be more active on Spaces if you're going to be posting on Twitter. Bounced a couple ideas off that if I wanted him to like join in or whatever, and I thought, hey, let's figure out if Spaces is legit. Let's see how this stuff works. If it's not that big of a deal, yeah, we can start running some 15-20 minute space segments, I guess, or whatever for Twitter content. We'll see, though. This will be the first one. And okay, so Sunday night, August 14th, welcome. A lot of stuff to get through, but as always, I want to start off by allowing you guys the opportunity. Any trades in particular you want to go over right now at the very beginning, trades that you're currently in, trades that you're currently looking at, or trades that you closed on Friday that you want to review. Anything that we want to do there? Mike, up 250% on FSLR. Nice. Proud of you guys. And Dustin's up 350. FSLR, I was actually going to record a video on it today talking about it, but I'll be honest with you, I was a little hungover this morning and I didn't want to make the video. And now I don't want to make the video because we're doing this. So I'm going to come up with a video on FSLR tomorrow, kind of talk through the entire process. I had a great one-on-one with our newest member, Tim. So me and him kind of broke it down and talked what it's like joining as a newer trader coming into the group. How would it be beneficial if I did some things differently? Because for you guys have been here for a while. You understand the flow. You understand what we're doing in here. You understand the structure of the Discord. Tim did not. And so he was like, yo, I love the fact that it's not just bullet pointed out because it actually makes you think. Like, he likes it. But he did say that it would be beneficial for newer traders when they came in here to see trade reviews broken down. And so I think what we're going to do is we're going to highlight one trade per week, And I'm going to make a quick 5 to 10 minute YouTube video running through the entire process on it. It's not going to be super long or in depth or anything, but 5 to 10 minutes. This is how we found it. This is why we traded it. This is the outcome. And so we can nominate one trade per week. If one of you guys has a great trade or something stands out, we can nominate that. I'll run a video on Friday or Saturday and upload that to YouTube as content, but also it'll help the guys in here when they come in and they go, okay, for example, this First Solar trade, how the hell did we catch First Solar? How are you guys up 200, 300, 400% right now when the rest of the market is still trying to figure out what First Solar even is? So yeah, it's a good place to start. I'm going to do that tomorrow. That'll be good content. And like I said, I want to make this a standard, because if it's just once per week, it's not too overwhelming. We can get through one trade, right? So on Friday's session, starting this week, I'm going to say, what trade do we want to nominate? Just throw some names out and we'll pick one and I'll make a video on it, all right? So any review stuff we want to go through right now. I'm going to pull up Tastyworks. One thing I'll ask right off the bat, Mike, since we're in a few of the same trades, what is your current profitability on Riot and Rivian? I'm currently up 76.2% in Riot and 43.8% in Rivian. I haven't actually looked at what's going on with crypto right now, but it looks like we're made no progress over the last 2 days. Essentially where we closed on Friday. Ethereum up a little bit off of since Friday's close. Actually, we're down slightly. So it looks like if we were to open right now, these positions would probably be slight down. Mike's up 70% in Riot, 51% Rivian. Cool. So we're around the same. Just making sure we're on the same page here with managing these. Okay, if nobody has any current trades that they want to go over, let's just start it off with sector analysis, right? So let's pull up the Koyfin stuff. I'm going to go ahead and start with year to date and quarter to date. Has anything fundamentally changed here since the last time we looked at this stuff? I see one thing right off the bat that I know we talked about on Friday that we should probably do during this session. But does anything here stand out to you guys as particularly different? To me, right off the bat, the strength and energy that's come back into the market over the last few trading sessions. Obviously, we had the brutal sell-off in June. The drawdown of 20-30% from the end of May to the middle of July. But since the middle of July, we have bottomed out and started hitting a series of higher highs again. Now, it's hard to want to go and buy energy-related names when there's so much price action on the left. There's a lot of supply overhead hanging. But at the very minimum, we should be looking at the strongest energy names right now, because I guarantee you there are a few that are up near all-time highs. Because if this trend continues, we can't simply ignore it. Obviously, if growth is running, we know where, typically speaking, the stronger names are. Growth typically outperforms when both of these are running together, but there could be some alpha there by buying a few of the largest energy companies, or at least the companies that are near all-time highs, and so it would be stupid if we just completely wrote off the entire sector. So energy is something that we have not touched for a few weeks, actually a few months at this point. We might be having a conversation sometime this week where should we be looking to potentially get some exposure long in energy again? If we look at the quarter to date chart, there's no need to continue to beat a dead horse here. We're already in consumer discretionary and tech. We should not, unless you're completely out of most of these names because you were buying Septembers and your price targets were hit, you should not be looking to full port anything into discretionary or growth. As of right now, a lot of these areas have already broken out, and so we're going to be paying jacked up premiums. We don't want to be chasing stuff here. That's the problem, is we're going to be paying huge premiums on these calls to get long stuff that's already broken out double digits, right? So we have to play this smart. Like I said, a lot of us are currently in positions in discretionary and tech, so you don't have to add into something just because you're bored. You can look at energy, but also look at industrials, right? So the other area of the market that has surprised me specifically over the last few weeks is industrials. There's a few of you guys in industrial related names, which is awesome, but this is huge for me. Industrials are beating SPY on the quarter to date chart by about 1.1%. And if you look back at the year to date as well, industrials are almost up to positive. We've been floating underneath positive this entire year, and here we are only down 4.91%. Still outperforming SPY, by the way, year to date. So there is relative strength there within LXI, or XLI rather, and we have not specifically gone out and said, let's buy industrials right now. We haven't done that. So let's go and look at some charts. Let's figure out some of the less sexy energy stuff and the less sexy industrials. We've been focused on growth. Let's go and find those industrials and energy names, like I said, just in case. Some of you guys are already in industrials, so as we scan through these, I'm sure you guys are going to look at the charts and be like, well, shit, I'm already in this. Congrats if you are. The rest of us are not. So share the wealth. Let's look at industrials really quick. We already have an idea of what's running and what's not. PBW and TAN. Upload failed in Discord. This is great. We're sticking with just quarter to date because I'm not going to go grab the year-to-date chart again. PBW is up 41.81% quarter to date. We are in some PBW-related names. You guys are in First Solar. There's a few other solar and clean energy-related names that we've looked at. Congrats. There's nothing else we can do here. A lot of these names are so far gone at this point. I'm not saying that there's going to be no more opportunity to trade these, but remember, we need risk on levels. We don't want to be buying halfway or 3/4 the way through a move, because if that move fails, you have a long way down for your stop out. And if you're an options trader and you're giving up a double-digit spot stop, those contracts are essentially going to be worthless. So if you do end up buying something up and around here, understand that what you pay in premium is probably going to be the stop. There's not going to be any chart-based stops on things that have already broken out, double digits, etc. SMH, another area of the market that we've been looking to get long. One name in particular that is going to be on our radar for tomorrow, ON. This is the name that we've been prepping for 2 weeks. We got the breakout on Friday. High RVOL, so we should get a BRB setup tomorrow on the semiconductor name. FDN also has been the worst performing industry this year. All of a sudden, it's up 22% quarter to date. These are internet names. We've been on top of this stuff. Like I said, though, a lot of us are already in FDN names, PBW and TAN as well. Don't overweight yourself in one particular sector or industry. So let's focus on the stuff. Since you guys didn't have any questions regarding current positions, let's focus on the areas of the market that we haven't been charting lately, which is energy, industrials, some of the less sexy stuff. Last two charts, we're going to look at factor analysis. We're going to look at the year to date, and we're going to look at quarter to date. Anything change here from a trend perspective in regards to market caps against the S&P 500? I don't know what time frames I just posted to you guys. Yeah, January. Okay, so year to date, anything here stand out? IWO still. IWO is about to overtake IVW in terms of performance against SPY, which kind of blows my mind. So small cap growth still outperforming everything since the May lows. This is what we want, right? This is the type of action that we want. But look at small cap value. And this is kind of what we were talking about with energy and industrials. Small cap value is starting to hit higher highs. The last two sessions last week have put in some higher highs in small cap value. We go to quarter to date and we can see it. Look at that IWN chart or line. IWO is still firmly in the lead. That's what we expect in a market where growth is going to be leading. That's what we want to see. But like I said, we don't just want to write off value because it's less sexy than growth. We're not growth traders. We're traders, right? So if we find something that makes sense within the value sphere, whether it's small, mid, large cap, doesn't matter, we should be updating those charts. Okay, so any questions regarding sector or industry strength, the stuff that we just went over in Koyfin? Pretty straightforward stuff. We've been killing it over the last few weeks. I can say positively that we are one of the few groups that did not sell the rips. We've been buying the dips since sometime in the middle of June, late June. So congrats. Nothing has changed in that front. Let's go hunt some new stuff. Let's go to Finviz. I'm going to post a link. Let's start off with just a 50-day high with average volume over 1 million, optionable and tradable, or optional and shortable rather. So we have 307 names that pop up. I'm actually just going to keep this. It's a Sunday night. We have a huge group of guys in here. We can get through this URL quickly. We have 304 charts to go through. I'm throwing it. I'm going to filter it by sector. I'm going to assume a majority of the sector that's up are consumer cyclical and tech stuff. Flip over to charts and let's get to work. 307 names. If somebody wants to start in the back, Josh, I know you like to go in reverse order. We have 26 pages of charts to get through tonight, so let's fucking roll. We have 45 minutes. Mic's open, by the way. Anybody wants to talk through ideas, I'm going to, unless I see some stuff that's worth talking about, I'm not going to sit here and obnoxiously fill the fucking time with my voice. So feel free, please. Talk if you need to. ALB, near all-time high. This is a materials name, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, specialty chemicals, ALB, near all-time high. This is not a tradable name yet, in my mind at least, but there's a change of trend here in the beatdown materials areas, right? We know what LAC is. We've traded LAC. Like I said, this is not a tradable name at this point, but that's a change in sentiment. We dropped down June 16th, made a low. We're up 60%-ish off of that low. A lot of chemicals names are on the list. SQM I'm not going to post, but we're very, very strong day on Friday. We're only 6.5% away from all-time high. Matter of fact, I am going to post it. Very strong day on Friday, SQM. Strong day on ChargePoint, CHPT. I'd say potential BRB, but I don't know if I'd want to buy this. I'm going to post it. Not my favorite chart, but it is potentially a BRB. I don't even know what the options chain would look like on this. Probably pretty jacked up, but I'm going to post it 6.1 ADR with a 6.35 market cap. So this is a name that we've charted plenty of times. Potential BRB tomorrow. ASO, we've talked about this frequently. ASO near all-time highs at Academy Sports and Outdoors. This is a consumer discretionary retail name. $4 billion at 3.66 ADR, so not something we would normally trade. And just because I don't remember, I'm going to look at the options chain on ASO. It's currently a $47 stock. So it does open up the possibility of buying options on it. 54 IV at a 36.3 IV rank. Open interest is up and over 1,000. There's definitely a play at 55. The ASO $55 calls for October. There is some interest there. The delta lines up, and they're sub $200. Going for $1.59 at the mid right now. ASO. I'm going to post the chart. Actually, not a bad looking setup. I would like it at 45 for a potential all-time high test and breakout, holding above the 50 RSI since the beginning of June. That's a nice setup for ASO in my mind. I don't think Kevin's gonna listen to this, but Kevin is short Trip, and Trip is fucking killing it. Rest in peace, Kevin. Not a name we want to buy here, though. Lasers running. I mean, these names go back. You're looking at just like meme mania right now, going nuts. LAZR. Jumia is up. Jumia is almost $10 again. At one point, it was like $5, so it's up nearly 100%. JMIA. Trimble. This is a software name, right, Josh?
Yeah, I think so.
Looking at the chain really quick. There's some volume on the Novembers at 95. There's a shit ton of open interest on the 95s, but it looks like a hedge. We'll see. Not the worst setup though. It's light with volume. Remember we were talking about potentially buying financials as well? Still, it's not a sexy buy, but how about regional banks hitting 50-day highs over the last 3 sessions? All 3 sessions, new highs. This is a very strong move for a regional banking ETF. We're now currently testing the 200-day moving average as potential dynamic resistance. The RSI is an extreme overbought, which means motherfuckers want this. That's a big deal for KRE to be floating way above the 70 RSI. If you look back, historically speaking, at KRE, this might be the highest reading I've seen in KRE, besides some random readings in 2021, since 2017. And in 2017, KRE went from 50 to 60 for a 20% run while being above the 70. There's definitely something there with KRE. So for the newer guys or anybody watching the stream, KRE is a regional banking ETF, and it's going to hold most of the small and mid-cap regional banks. So there's going to be a lot of names you probably have never heard of. Double check volume, specifically if you're an options trader. Make sure that it makes sense to get long if you want. We have had experiences trying to get long regional banks and then not being able to get out of winning positions. So keep that in mind. KRE itself does have volume. UNM, 52-week high. And it's an insurance, mid-cap insurance name. Not something that I want to buy, but for whatever reason, it's going nuts. I can't imagine there's too much volume on the chain. Probably not, considering I've never heard of it. And I'm fucking wrong. There's a lot of volume on this. Wow. Okay, here we go. UNM. Unfortunately, probably not going to be able to catch this because it's already broken out, and definitely do not want to buy juiced up contracts on a fucking insurance name. Probably not. Probably not the best setup. But if we do get a pullback in UNM, somewhere around 37, 36.5, go ahead and post this chart. It's going to look kind of whack because I'm going back to 2020. I want you to see the consistent movement of this trend. There's a lot of open interest on this name. I don't remember ever charting this. So September's, there's a lot. By the way, just so everyone's fully aware, we're probably not buying September's, right? The earliest we're going out now is October's. The September's are 33 days till expiration. I'm not going to say never, but generally speaking, we don't buy something without 45 plus. Because if you're buying these Septembers, realistically, you have 1.5 or 2 trading weeks max to get in and get out of these before Theta starts kicking your ass. There's a lot of open interest on the Septembers in UNM. Next strike out, or next expiry out is December, and you got the 40-45s. That is not great R to R. So the 45s though, $45 calls on UNM. This is a 37% IV with a 10.6 IV rank. UNM $45 calls December 16th going for $95. 1.3K open interest at a 0.24 delta. Not the worst. I would like this to pull back to 37, 36.5. I don't like buying on 2 straight green days up. Not only that, but this is higher RVOL as well. So UNM potential. We'll see what happens tomorrow and Tuesday if we get a pullback. PLD. That's a change of attitude at the very minimum in PLD. I would be looking for names in the real estate space, Callow, that are closer to all-time highs. It's probably going to be hard. That might be asking too much, but I think that we're probably going to just be able to find something that is hovering closer to all-time highs than something like PLD. This looks like a great trend, but there's going to be that overhead resistance that you have marked there coming up in probably the next day or two. Let's try to find something that's already cleared that. Cool. I'm glad you just said that. Basically reiterating what I was saying. That's awesome. Okay. It's hard to want to get jacked up on this stuff because of what we've seen over the last few months, but that's why we've been able to perform better than most other groups, because we've been able to put that bias aside and just trust what's going on with the charts. A lot of these charts are so beat to shit that it's hard to find the right entry areas for these things. IBN once again. I'm going to take IBN. I want to take this in that options account. IBN closed strong on Friday on over 1 RVOL. This is funny. I'm going to pull up the chain one more time. Let me go ahead and post this chart in the Discord so you guys see exactly. Nothing's changed except the breakout over the risk on level that we identified like on Thursday, I think it was. Friday, we got the breakout. Check that out. For whatever fucking reason, this Indian bank is going nuts right now. All-time highs with a strong breakout on Friday. Post divs, post earnings, high RVOL. This is in price discovery mode. You go out to the chain and you want to fuck around with a contract or two. You got the December expiry, 124 days out. You got 29 IV with a 5 IV rank. That's the thing. This thing, you're only going to fucking profit in terms of IV unless something historically happens. So if we buy down here and IV expands, obviously premium is going to expand with us. And we can go out and we can buy like the... What's the price target here? $25.50. You can buy the $25 call, or the $24 call is 567 open interest. So you're probably going to be buying like one fucking contract. There's not a lot of volume on this thing. But for $82, you can get long fucking an IBN, an Indian bank name with incredibly low IV. Historically speaking, IV rank is at 3, I think, 5, into an all-time high. If there's volume there and you can get in and get out of this, this is a fantastic setup from a technical perspective. And it's cheap enough.
Does it bother you that gap's all over the place?
Normally, yes, but if we're clearing this horizontal level up here above 22, no, because we're not going to be buying it and then selling it the very next day, if that makes sense. Since we have that expiry of December, 124 days, we can let this thing just continue to trend upwards. Hopefully, right? We're buying a breakout. This thing continued to trend upwards for a few weeks before we sell it, and we can choose when to sell it, right? Because we have 124 days. We're not in a rush to sell this thing. We have all the time in the world to make the right decision. So, for example, let's say we catch it on a gap up day, and you want to get rid of it. Get rid of it. If we hit the $25 area, it makes total sense. I want to take this if I can get long tomorrow. 2 of you guys had orders on the books from Friday. Did you guys get in there? Did you guys get filled on the IBM? I think it was James and Alex. Didn't get filled on the bid. Oh, I see. All right. That's fine. Okay, so we'll look at this again tomorrow. I still like it. And this is the second session in a row now that it's on the 50-day high scan list with all the other stuff. So UNM right now, IBN, both of those. Waiting for this ON chart to pop up. It's probably going to be at the end because I filtered everything through sectors. But ON looks fantastic for a pullback tomorrow. BRB setup. Let's see here. I'm going to skip through the financial shit right now because there's so many ETFs on this list. And I'm going to skip the biotech stuff because we're already in biotech. And if you are not in biotech, there's no point in buying it now. So I'm going to skip all the small cap shit. Is Landon in here? He is. MCK, man. You were fucking right on the dot on MCK, bro.
Yeah,
McKisson pushed into an all-time fucking high on Friday.
the best seasoning ever. Try it. It's like their new. They own a bunch of brands, but I mean, it's like a really basic one that they have when you're lazy and you want to like make people think that you're like a pit master. You just fucking throw some of the seasoning on there, and I swear to God, everyone that I've cooked this for, they're like, "Oh my God, you made this!" It's like it's so stupid.
I'm glad, but also nice trade.
Yeah, it was a slow mover. That's the problem. It kind of moves like a staple for me.
Yeah,
I guess it is. So, yeah, it's hard. It's one of those things. I think we talked about how like some of these staples like it feels like it could potentially kind of like burn your premium too quickly on your options. So they're almost better for like equities or like super long dated options.
I agree with that. Not buying enough time on something that moves 2% per day, probably not the best option there. But either way,
Exactly.
you identified the breakout, and it's running. So congrats. That was your call.
Sweet, man. Thanks. Wish I took it or held it. I actually made money on that play a long time ago.
I thought you took it this time, so if you didn't, then never mind. James, your microphone is terrible. Are you like in a wind tunnel?
No, we're talking about McCormick. Or dude, I didn't.
McKesson.
Okay, dude.
Hey, let's talk ON really quick because it's up now.
Talking about the seasoning.
Yeah, I know. I just let you do your own thing. You just like talk about whatever you want.
Me after all that time. That's so
Let's talk ON semiconductor really quick. All-time high breakout above 67.71 or 61, 69-ish, right? We have a risk on level 68.71. ON. We got the breakout on Friday. This is a name that we've been prepping for 2 fucking weeks. Remember when we had the discussion between AMD, Nvidia, ON, Enphase, etc., and we said we liked Enphase the most. Reason why is because we're basing above an all-time high. We like to see a base be built, flip that support into a resistance area, or flip that resistance into a support area rather, build a base on top of it before it launches itself back up. Enphase, we still have a broad price target up near 365, currently trading at 299, so right underneath that $300 level. But we're looking at the 269 area breakout on Enphase. We got it. Then we looked at a bunch of other names, right, within semiconductors, and we said ON had the next best shot because we were building a base underneath a resistance area at all-time highs. 68.71 is the original risk on level. RSI above the 50 since the beginning of July. So we've had 6 weeks straight of above 50 RSI action on ON. This is during a pullback, right? So this was when I think Hanno was long AMD with some decent size, and we had a pullback, and he actually added into the AMD play. ON got bopped as well. The entire semiconductor space did. That was when NVIDIA came out with its shitty news or shitty earnings, pre-leak earnings or whatever. Look at what ON did. Nothing. And we identified that. Every other name in the space was down massively. ON not so much. And here we are on Friday. Huge breakout on high volume. This is a name that if you want exposure into semiconductors, looks like the Enphase setup, right? So if we want something at all-time highs, we get the breakout with high volume, we should be looking to get long ON. So let's look at the chain really quick. Like I said, probably don't want to go to September's. You only have 33 days till expiration, but we can go to October's, 68 days, and want to find something with volume, and we want to find something with the right risk reward. So first off, we have an $80 to $85 price target, 1.618 fibs at 83.44. So maybe we can buy the 80, sell the 85, depending on the IV and the price. So you could just buy the 85 for $1.80. There's 2.7K open interest with a 0.23 delta. If your account can handle a $200-ish play, then yeah, the $85 calls are totally in play. 38.2 IVR, so it's not super jacked up, and it's only a 52.4 IV in general. So you don't necessarily have to worry too much about IV crush. Let's see, you could buy the 85s by itself if you wanted, or call debit spread this, buy the 80s, sell the 85s. You have a P50 of 54. You have a max loss of 115 and a max profit of 385. So you're getting almost a 4-to-1 on this 80-85 call debit spread at 68 days till expiration on an all-time high semiconductor breakout. Not a bad setup, right? So this is why we were looking at ON. This is what we've been prepping for. Now, the execution is, what do we expect to happen tomorrow? Landon? It just goes quiet. What do we expect tomorrow?
Oh, I thought you heard me talking. Sorry. Wait, what?
What are we expecting tomorrow on ON?
I'll have to pull up that chart. I'm sorry, buddy. I was trying to convince my kid to let me change his.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, Shaq, pullback, right? High RVOL breakout on Friday, 1.75 sets us up for a BRB. So tomorrow, decent probability that this thing presses down at the open. We'll see what happens, obviously, where the market is in general. But we would love to be buying ON somewhere around that breakout spot at 68.75. Anywhere in that area, right? We have a zone. The zone starts at around 69.5 and goes down to about 67.5. So we have a $2 window to buy this ON position. And what I'm going to tell you right now is, if these 85s are $1.80 right now, they're probably going to be $1.40, $1.35 tomorrow if we do break down and test that previous resistance area support. So we're going to be getting a discount on these. So realistically, if we get the pullback, these $85 contracts are going to be discounted by about 30 cents. If we get the pullback and you still want the call debit spreads, these things will probably be under $1. So you could probably grab this for like 95 or 90 bucks and keep the max profit around 400. And this will be a 4-to-1 R to R with ON tomorrow. So the setup is there right now. We'll see what the name does pre-market tomorrow. But if we are pulling back and you do not have exposure into semis, this is the name that we want to get exposure in. All right?
Could it technically run another day before the pullback still?
Yeah, dude. I'm not fucking... Yeah, it can do whatever the fuck it wants. If it
Yeah,
doesn't pull back,
RSI
I'm not buying it, though.
Yeah, it looks like it's got a little resistance, a little way to go to hit resistance in the RSI at least. But I mean, it doesn't mean everything. So we'll see what happens.
So if we get the pullback, we should be looking to go long. If we don't get the pullback, I'm not going long, but it's up to you. This is probably the best looking name outside of Enphase in the semiconductor space that actually has volume on the chain.
Yeah, look at the chart. Yeah.
See, I know you guys posted a bunch of charts. I'm gonna get through the next 3 pages here, and then we'll go through the stuff that you guys posted and come up with some more trading ideas like the ON. First solar, everybody is already in for solar. There's no point, but congrats to the guys that grabbed that. GFS, I don't know if Jesse's in here. Jesse in here? Jesse's in here. Jesse called out GFS. Jesse emailed me. Emailed me and said, look at GFS. So here we go. GFS. This is actually a name that we were originally looking to buy on our Big Blue Sky breakout setup. And I don't think anybody actually... Did we trade GFS? My trading view charts reset, so I have none of my prior stuff. But I don't... Dustin, remind me if we traded GFS. I can't remember. But here we are, back up in that same area where I can tell from the charts, this is where we would have been looking to buy a potential breakout GFS. This is a large cap semiconductor name with a 6.29 ADR. I don't love it at this price. I would prefer it above 60 or 76. I mean, if we're going to take an all-time high, I would prefer to take the all-time high. Right now, we still have overhead supply starting somewhere around 70 and going up towards 79. So it's a $9 area where we previously couldn't break through. There's other names like ON, for example, that you don't have to worry about that shit. So probability-wise, I would expect ON to perform better than GFS strictly because there's no price action above current price on ON, whereas GFS, we have to get through some stuff. Checking the chain really quick in GFS just to see if it's even viable. We want to go out to at least October. We get 68 days till expiration. 65 IV, so this is probably going to be something you want to call debit spread. And you could do something like, let's see, for a price target, we can run some sort of, run some sort of fibs. I don't really know where the level, why do I keep doing that? I don't know where the level would be. I don't love it. 80, 85 again, maybe. Buy the 80, sell the 85. Sub 50 P50. Yeah, I don't like it. No. Just straight. No. I think there's better trades than GFS. From a risk reward standpoint, from a setup standpoint. At least in the confines of what we're doing here. Mike, are you still in a firm? Man, what a beast a firm was last week after drawing down. Incredible. Sweet, dude. Congrats. You fucking killed it the last few weeks. The luck you had on not closing those is fucking beyond me. That's incredible. CEG. Did anybody ever end up taking CEG? I think we missed it as a group. And god damn, what a perfect fucking EP. Yeah, obviously I didn't mean that. Obviously there's talent and skill in there, but definitely some luck because I remember you had orders on the books and they just weren't filled. So let's just a little bit of luck on your part. CEG. I don't remember who originally called this out a few sessions ago, but we were looking at potentially taking this on a COD play. And I don't think we played the range breakout above 77. So unfortunately, this is a name that we'd probably want to go back and study, but I don't think at this point we're not buying this. This is so far gone. It's insane. This is definitely a missed opportunity, though. We slipped on this one. We should have been long CEG above 77. It's currently at 81.5. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of relative strength in CEG. There's a lot of relative strength in utilities right now. Remember, though, that it's like a two-pronged attack. We don't necessarily love trading utilities because a lot of these names are low ADRs and they just aren't really moving a whole lot. But on the other side, we do like trading some of them, specifically the small and mids, because they have what exposure? You guys remember? What industry exposure do a lot of these utility companies have?
Clean energy?
Yeah, clean and solar energies. You're going to see a lot of these names have they're going to have sector exposure on the utility side, and then the industry side rather, you're going to have PBW and TAN. And think about which industries right now are popping off. Well, that's directly going to influence a lot of the utilities charts. So it's funny because we've been staying away from utilities for 2 years because there's just been better opportunities. And now, out of nowhere, narrative has shifted, and a lot of these utilities names are absolutely blowing it out of the water. So CEG is a good example of that. A lot of these utilities names at the end of the scan here are coming up near all-time highs. EVRG, OGE, ES, 8, AEP. Is this an all-time high with AEP, or is this just AEP is damn near all-time high. So here's a utility name. This is what I'm talking about. I don't know if this is worth a position. This thing moves at 1.7 ADR. It's a $53 billion market cap, so this is a behemoth of a stock. But near all-time highs in an area that's running relatively hot. Let's see what the options chain has. November's. This is an expensive trade. Yeah, probably not something we're going to want to take. 105, 110, called debit spread. No. The 110s are going to be, let's see, 110s are going to run you $1.67. And from current price right now, move to 110 is about 5 actually 16.4 IVR with a 22.3 IV. The 110 calls are going for $1.67, 0.27 delta. You're only about 5.5% away from that in the money, and this thing moves at 1.7% per day. So realistically, you need like 2 or 3 sessions up, and you're in the money. That's pretty close, actually. I'm surprised. This has a P50 of 68%, second highest I've seen. I think we had one at 69 on Thursday. But yeah, I mean, this isn't, if we're talking about utilities running hot, this is a name that's damn near at all-time highs. You're 5.5% away from an in-the-money call going for $1.67 with a 68% chance of it hitting 50%. That's pretty dope. Not the worst idea. Okay, let's go through some of these charts that you guys are looking at. TRMB we looked at. PFG, Principal Financial Group. Is this an all-time high or is this just some crazy? Yep. Okay. Nearing an all-time high here. PFG, financial related name, 20 billion market cap with a 2.5 ADR. Not my favorite from metric standpoint, but you can't get mad at a potential all-time high. So let's pull this up on the chain. Go out to the Octobers, no volume. So that's the unfortunate part, where we're going to find a lot of these, the financial names, if they're not the big banks, they're going to have shit liquidity on the chain, and so we're just not going to be able to play them even if the setup's there. But yeah, PFG all-time high. I think, Callow, this is probably, excuse me, this is a better puzzle piece chart than an actual trading chart because there's no volume. But why is this name hitting all-time highs right now? That's the question. And does this give us insight into other potential trades? We can look at other companies that share the same industry as PFG and look if there's any other ones that are hitting up near all-time highs that we didn't pick up on the scan. So yeah, good chart. Unfortunately, can't trade it though. TJX is a retail name. Josh is looking at a potential 200 moving average breakout horizontal level, somewhere around that 200-day moving average, right? 65.5 probably, Josh, on that horizontal resistance area.
Yeah.
RSI trending above the 50 since the middle of July, so we've had about a month of overperformance based off RSI testing dynamic resistance. Right now, 3 days till expiration, or 3 days till earnings rather. Let's see. I'll put
I like how on that chart I just posted, you got Apple, CEG on that leading quadrant over there.
I do. Yeah, that's good.
You just call that CEG. I wonder what Intuit looks like.
Josh, I'm gonna put you on the spot really quick. What would be your price target for TJX?
Let me pull it up. Give me 1 second.
If you're busy, you don't have to worry about it. I can do it. Anybody else? Josh, you don't have to do it. Anybody have a price target on TJX? Say it on the microphone because I'm not going to scroll down on Discord to see.
$70.
I think my... are you just running fibs?
Yeah.
I'd look for resistance at 66.75, and then if it breaks that, then that's kind of like the long-term horizontal level I see.
Cool. Okay, so we're spitballing the same areas here.
I have a level around 68 as well. So.
I'm not sure if this is the right trade, but this is good practice. TJX, though, is loaded on the chain. There's a lot of open interest
Is that
across.
TJ Maxx?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Oh, fuck.
So let's run with that $70 to $72 area. The strikes here are $2.50 apart, which I fucking hate, but
Let's look at wrap.
There's a 3-to-1 trade available on the 70, 72.5 call debit spread. These things are pretty cheap though. You can get a 72. So you can get a 72.5 call, which makes sense because IV is 34.9 with an IV rank of 38. So IV crush is not necessarily a big deal here. You can get the 72.5, which is my price target, and it's just slightly above Mike's. You can get them for $1.14, $1.13. You have 1.7K open interest on a 0.24 delta.
Coles has got ER coming up. Couple days.
Or you can do the call. Well, no, never mind. That doesn't make any sense.
Who are their other competitors? Ross.
It's not the worst setup. It's not my favorite, though. Let's get through a few more of these charts. Thanks, Josh.
Here, check out Macy's for a similar chart. Or similar, I guess it's...
Yeah, I think a lot of the XRT related stuff is going to look like this. One thing I will say, though, is XRT has been fucking killing it. So retail is up and over those late May, early June highs. We came back down and retested that area and bounced hard on that pullback off of the NVIDIA stuff, and we're off to the races. So XRT in general looks good. PLD, I think we talked through this, but yeah, setup's not bad. Callow, I see what you're looking at. Series of higher highs here. I would probably want to look and see if there's other names that are already up and over these key areas, though, because right now PLD is at a key area, right? Somewhere around 138, 140-ish. Tested it as resistance in 2021, and then tested it as support in 2022 before breaking in May, and now we're obviously going to be testing it as resistance again. So this area, for whatever reason, the market likes this area around 140. PLD, we're currently at 137.24. Go out to the Novembers. I don't know where you would put your price targets here on PLD based off of this. If you're playing like a 139 or 140 breakout spot, and the bottom of this fractal is your bottom of your fib, you're looking at like a 159 or 160 price target, and that's pretty far out there. I don't love it, but good chart either way. Thanks for sharing it. EHC. Was this a BRB? But it's too late. Anybody want to answer that really quick? If you look at this chart. Somebody want to answer Tim? Is this a BRB that he missed?
No.
Thanks. you want to explain or no?
It just broke out now, so we can still expect that BRB to come back down to that 53-ish, 52.50 level, and see if it retaps it before going higher.
I agree. I will tell you right off the bat, though, I don't like this setup. So he's been here for 1 week, and he's already starting to identify what the BRB setup is. That's fucking awesome. But I think the quality of this stock in particular is not something that we would want to be trading right now. And I can give you in 5 seconds why. Look to the left-hand side of the chart. If there's a lot of stuff over there, look for things that don't have stuff, because there are definitely stocks out there right now that don't have stuff on the left-hand side of the chart. And therefore, we can infer that they're going to have higher probability of sustained breakouts because there's no previous price action that you're going to have to worry about as potential resistance. So EHC, not something we would want to trade. Also, just because you're in here now, I can tell you this. This is not in a sector or industry that we want to be long right now either, which obviously is paramount in our system. But I appreciate the willingness to put yourself out there and ask.
Talking about the breakout that happened on August 3rd, I would have, if I saw this, I would have played it the next day, but I would definitely have gotten shaken out on August 9th, as it would break that $52 trend line or horizontal line that I see on the chart. That would have closed me out there, and I would have lost out on the next 3 days action. So For me, this would have been a loser for me.
What's cool is, and I'm gonna plug our group really quick if you guys don't mind, about for 30 seconds. The cool thing about our group is we don't just blindly look at a chart, find a setup, and buy it. We're not buying symmetrical triangle breakouts. We're not even buying horizontal level breakouts. We're buying based off of the underlying analysis that comes before the actual setup. So we want to be long the areas of the market that are showing the greatest relative strength, whether that's through sectors or industries. As of right now, medical and nursing services are showing neither, strength or really weakness, but not strength at all from a sector standpoint or an industry standpoint. So even if this did give us a BRB setup, we would not take it. So to piggyback off of what Mike was saying, if you were to take this on August 30, you would have been shaken out. One of the benefits of being in here is you would have never taken it to begin with. So you would not have been shaken out. Because we know we're not going to be buying shit in industries and sectors that suck. So PTRA, small cap 6.81 ADR, horizontal level break $7. This not my favorite setup, but probably going to be shares, right? Probably not going to be wanting to buy options at $7. Let's see what the chain looks like just to see if there's even any open interest. Let's go out to the Novembers. This is a super cheap, this is a super cheap stock, so there's probably going to be a lot of meme action going on. Above 70 or above 50 IVs, so you're going to want to call debit spread this. You can buy the 9, sell the 10, call debit spread for $15, max profit of 85 with a P50 of 63. I mean, okay, sure, why not? 9, 10. That's you're looking for like a 40-50% move. I mean, I've seen stupider shit happen, maybe. PTRA. I'm actually going to add this to the watch list for tomorrow morning because now I'm curious on this. I'm an idiot. Josh did put shares. I appreciate that, Josh. IBN, already went over that. PCT, Waste Management. Great play. PCT. All right, so apparently this is something that we've already charted up. We have the same levels, Josh. Got the breakout on Friday. Reported beat Friday morning. This is a BRB setup for tomorrow. If you want to get long PCT, look to get long somewhere sub $10. Check the chain really quick. Industrial services, environmental services, November's. Somebody got rich off some $6 calls, I'll tell you that. It's 2.3K open interest on those. Yeah, there's no real opportunity on the chain here, so this is definitely going to have to be a shares trade. But if you're buying sub $10, it's probably going to be shares anyway. Yeah, not a bad setup, Josh. Actually, this is probably the best one that you posted. I like it. Why not? And Josh also posted his price target and his stop. No, you didn't. Never mind. That was a previous play. Okay, going to move on really quick because we're almost out of time. OGE, utilities names. I think the other utilities name is probably better, Josh, just because we're near all-time highs already, and OGE has yet to even come up and retest those 2020 highs. So let's skip OGE just from a relative strength standpoint. There's other names that are already up there.
Yo, check out Home Depot reporting on Tuesday.
Okay, one sec. MMM. I don't have VPVR on for TradingView, but I would assume that there's going to be a low volume node up towards 170. I think there's probably going to be one.
What is it?
MMM. I don't love this. 1.86 ADR industrial name. I think there's probably better industrial names to be buying than MMM. But I really do like the PCT name. Okay, so for tomorrow morning, we have a few charts that we're going to be looking at as for potential plays. We're already in a bunch of plays right now, so remember, don't be in a rush to allocate more capital in case we do get a full market pullback. You guys are up multiple hundreds of percent in positions. Don't be so quick to close those out, to be buying unproven positions. Let the positions that work continue to work, specifically if you have time on your side. For tomorrow morning, we have a few names that we're going to be looking at off of the open. BRB setups are present. We'll see what happens tomorrow morning, but ON is going to be the number one trade. If you do not have exposure into semiconductors and you want it, ON is the trade tomorrow morning. So if you're up early, hop on for pre-market. We'll be going through the exact play again, and we'll execute it if the market gives us the opportunity. We're not going to chase. See where the market's going tomorrow with KRE. I want to know what's going on with the regional banks. None of them actually popped up on the scanners that were worth talking about, but that doesn't mean that the space should be overlooked. KRE does offer some good opportunities. We went short KRE actually a few months ago, and we closed it for like a 60 or 70% winner. You're not going to become a fucking billionaire off of trading the regional bank ETF, but if you can catch an awesome breakout and this thing continues to trend another double-digit spot, you can make 50, 60, 70% relatively stress-free in something like that. It doesn't move very fast, so you generally have a window to make a decision. You don't have to worry too much about it. So we have ON. Look at KRE. TJ Maxx tomorrow morning, we can look at that. UNM, we're going to look at that. And PCT. So there's a few names tomorrow morning. All right, any questions before we call it a night? It's busy. We just went through 300 plus fucking charts. It took us 45 minutes. That's why I love this group. We can clear a lot of real estate. Imagine doing this all by yourself as a beginner. It took me an hour to get through this, and I'm probably going to spend another few minutes like fine-tuning the charts before tomorrow morning. Imagine doing this shit where you don't really know what you're doing. It's just overwhelming, right? So, Tim, I know you're wrapping up your first week here, but this is how we're able to clear so many charts in a session, and we do it. For anybody watching the stream, we do this 3 times per week, so we can cover a huge swath of the market. Any questions, guys? I'm going to go ahead and stop the YouTube stream.